You like that? That's good. Boozhoo, and welcome back to Boozhoo Nanaboozhoo by Michael Lyons, the live stream podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. I am Nanaboozhoo, and over here, be still my beating heart, the lovely and the talented Natasha. Ikadon Boozhoo Weenie Mushain. Say hello, my sweetheart.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to the show.
And over here, the rock star cartoonist, Michael Lyons. Ikadon Boozhoo Niji. Say hello to these people. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. All right. You look more awake today. Yeah, I had like 3 cups of coffee. That's my boy. That's my little Niji. Isn't that condescending? I don't care. How you guys doing? Hey, Always Learning is here. Boozhoo Always Learning. Gold Star for Always Learning.
Hey, Always Learning. Welcome back to the show.
And Zagame. Zagame says, I'm here. No scolding needed. I'm not promising I'm not going to scold you, Zagame. I like picking on Zagame.
Don't pick on Zagame. Hey, Boozhoo Zagame. Mino Giga Shame. Good morning. And you get a silver star.
Silver star. Zagame loves silver. You know who else loves silver?
Who's that?
The Lone Ranger.
Are you going to talk about Tonto again?
Lone Ranger used to always say, "Hi ho, Silver." He named his horse Silver.
Yeah, the guy was obsessed.
Named his horse Silver, and I think he shot silver bullets.
I know, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, wouldn't that be expensive? I mean, it would cost him, a couple $100 for every bullet. Hi ho, Silver. It's like, oh wow. I should have used regular bullets. But all right. And Joseph's here. Boozhoo, Joseph. Welcome to the show. It looks like you're the loser today.
He's not a loser. He's our friend.
Quit sucking up to the Boozhoo crew.
No, I like Joe.
Yeah, okay. Joe, you're first loser. That's what third place is. Haven't you seen the t-shirts?
I think the t-shirts say second place is first loser.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I still kind of respect second place. But third place, that's not our way. That's why you don't see me just strolling in here whenever. When we say we're going to start at 8 o'clock, we're here at 8 o'clock, you guys.
No, we're not.
Well, we were drinking coffee and watching YouTube videos.
Oh, yeah, but we were supposed to be on YouTube at 8 o'clock. Look at it. It's 8:41.
Yeah. Sorry we're so late, you guys. I guess I don't get a gold star today.
Yeah. Huh?
Hey, Jim Dunn's here. The Lone Ranger. What is a vampire hunter, don't you know? Is that why the silver bullets? Lone Ranger is a vampire hunter? That'd make a lot better movie than this thing. Come listen to a story about Johnny Depp. He loves to play Indian with a crow that's dead. Then one day he was shooting at the movie set. Speaking of shooting at the movie set, oh, wow, did you hear the news?
About Alec Baldwin?
Yeah, why are you laughing?
I don't know. I think there's something funny about it.
A woman is dead, sweetie. There's just no time for giggling.
I know, sorry.
Alec Baldwin. Somebody's got to bring him in before he kills again.
I know. How many people did he kill?
Well, so far, only 1. But he shot 2 people. Here's a story in case you guys don't keep up with the latest news. Or maybe you come here for the latest news. Alec Baldwin, beloved actor of that hilarious TV show 30 Rock, whatever. I never saw it. And I think he dated Daryl Hannah or something. I don't know. I don't know much about Alec Baldwin. He's a really bad dad.
Yeah, remember that when they recorded him chewing out his daughter?
Yeah, and she was like 10 years old at the time. Alec Baldwin gets on there. You're a little pig. You tell your mom that she's got a pig for a daughter. Or whatever. He's just a jerk. But he's on a set of the big movie. Can you imagine going to a movie that Alec Baldwin was the lead character in?
No, I really don't understand why people go to movies anymore.
Yeah. There's no way that would be believable. But anyway, Alec Baldwin grows a gray beard and starts shooting a movie. And while shooting, they always call it, he accidentally killed the camera lady with a prop gun. In my book, if you aim what looks like a gun at a person and it shoots something out the end, and that thing hits the person and that person dies from said bullet, that's not a prop gun, that's a gun. Killed a lady with a gun and then injured the director or something. Dead. But he's not arrested. What's wrong with the world? We gotta, no justice, no peace. I want to see Alec Baldwin behind bars.
Yeah, me too. But not for the shooting, for just being a bad dad.
Yeah, just for being a terrible dad. Anyway, and this has been Current Event It. Your current events. So, but that's not what we're talking about today, sweetie.
What are we talking about?
Today is Nanaboozhoo good? How come, I feel like, too big. Let me get in a position here. Nanaboozhoo good. It is the 5th day. I think last week we decided this means it's the day to plead the 5th. In America, because it's a free country, you guys. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was America. I hear this was a free country. What do you mean you want to charge me $1,000 for a KISS ticket? Come on, Gene. We love you. We're not going to pay $1,000 for, front row tickets. Does he kiss? Oh, but you get to meet us backstage. We don't care. I plead the 5th. It's a free country. Oh, but so when you plead the 5th, it's so you can't get yourself into trouble. So when somebody comes up and says, hey, did you get your vaccination? You go, hey, I plead the 5th. Hey, did you make jokes about the transgenders? I plead the 5th. I mean, it's all on tape now, but I plead the... Hey, did you giggle yourself into wetting your pants when the... what's her name?
You're calling her?
Yeah.
It's not Rachel Dolezal.
No, that was that white lady who pretended to be black.
Rachel Levine.
Rachel Levine. Somebody comes up to you and says, hey, do you think Rachel Levine is the first woman 5-star general? Admiral? Do you admire that? You say, I plead the 5th. Hey, did you think that Rachel Levine, I don't have a picture of her, was the penguin on that one Batman movie? I plead the Nanaboozhoo good. I plead the 5th day. Don't let him get you into trouble. You don't have to tell on yourself. And you don't have to lie. You just say, I plead the 5th. La la. Because today, sweetie, I would like to tell the story of Goldilocks. Dash Niswe Makwag.
Oh, you're going to tell the Goldilocks and the 3 Bears story?
Mm-hmm. I've been trying to think about what we should do for the radio show this morning. Got up just early. We're going to record our radio show on KAXE, KBXE. Northern Community Radio, huh, sweetie?
That's right.
And thinking this might be a good... So I'm practicing here. Sagame says, you might be there at 8, but we need to be to push the start button. I don't know. I keep forgetting. I'm just lucky I remember to turn on the microphone. Hey, Grassroots is here. All right, anyway. So, this is a story. A traditional Anishinaabe Adezuke. Not really so much, but Goldilocks Dush Niswe Makwag. Oh, there goes the heat or the fan or whatever.
You think they can hear it?
Yeah, they probably can. Should I wait till it shuts off?
I don't think it matters.
All right. Back in the days of the grandfathers, there was a little girl named Goldilocks.
Ah, it's Nellie!
Yeah, she looked a lot like Nellie from Little House on the Prairie. And Goldilocks was, I don't know, running around in the woods all by herself. But she got that name because she had golden hair. And they called her Goldilocks. Oh, she was just a cute girl, but she was kind of a brat. She, and a bit of a criminal. Speaking of felons, is breaking and entering a felony?
I don't know what the difference is. I mean, it's not like murder.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, Alec Baldwin's a murderer. She didn't do that. She was just a common criminal, I guess. So one day, Goldilocks is out in the woods looking for trouble, looking for mischief. And she comes up on a cabin. But this was no ordinary cabin, you guys. You know, when you first go up there, you think, oh, I wonder what human being made this cabin. No, I'm afraid you would be sadly mistaken. You see, once in a while in old German folk stories, bears can build, cabins and make porridge. Porridge is a lot like what we would call oatmeal in our language. But Goldilocks, she's sniffing around out in the woods, and she comes across this bear-made cabin. And she says to herself, oh, should I go up and knock and ask to go in? Or should I just break in? So, no, wait, I'm ahead of myself. Once upon a time, there were 3 bears. I'm tearing this story up. Once upon a time, there were 3 bears. There was a Papa Bear, Baba Makwa, Papa Bear. There's a Mama Bear, Mama Makwa, and a little old baby bear. Here we go. Makwa bear. But a baby bear, baby in Ojibwe, is Abanu Gians. Abanu Gians. So you could call that little baby bear Makwa Abanu Gians. But what baby bear really was a makunts. He was a bear cub. This was an intelligent group of bears who could walk upright, build log homes. They had mastered the use of fire and cooking, and I guess these bears didn't wear clothes, but they ate, they cooked food and processed food or whatever. So one morning, Mama Bear gets up. They're real traditional that way. Mama Bear did all the cooking. And she made some porridge. And then a little while later, she made some more. And then a little while later, she made some more. And then immediately, she's like, come on, let's go. We'll go for a walk. Well, our porridge is cooling. And Papa Bear goes, mine's been cooling for a long time. It's almost cold. He goes, no, come on, let's just go. Everyone, come on, leave the house quickly. So they all go on a walk. That's when Goldilocks shows up. She's like, oh, look at that. Here's a cabin. I think I'll just walk right in. I ain't afraid of nothing. Yeah, I know almost everybody has guns out here, but I'm walking right in. She walks in. She goes, hello? Hello, anybody in here? Oh, what's this? Looks like somebody's just about to sit down for breakfast, but nobody's here. Think I'll help myself. So she sits down and she takes some of that porridge. She goes, ooh, that's too hot. Should I wait 30 seconds? Nah, I'm going to go to the next chair and sit there. She ate some more porridge. And it's like, oh man, this is too cold. Then she went to the third little thing of porridge, oatmeal or whatever. And so that was this perfect temperature. Oh, this is just right. She gobbled that up. And then she goes, well, I guess before she ate, she sat down in a chair and went, this chair is too hard. I don't like this chair. It's too hard. And she sat in another one. She said, man, this is too soft. My knees are up to my chin, Got to get out of there. What's the best chair? And she sat in a third one. Oh, this chair is just right. Gobbles up the porridge. Then she's all tired. You know how you get when you eat too much?
Yeah.
She's like, I'm going to go lie down in these people's beds. She lies down in a Papa Bear bed. She's like, man, this is too hard. I don't like this bed. She takes the sheets out, Goes over to Mama Bear bed. Mama and Papa Bear slept in separate beds.
Did they really? That's weird.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we know they did it. They have a baby. But they had separate beds. So she goes and crawls into Mama Bear's bed. Oh, man, this is too soft. She was very, very picky, very finicky. She might have been on a spectrum. Then she gets to the baby bear's bed, which makes no sense because that would have been a small bed. But she crawls in there. She says, oh, this is perfect. I like being in a baby's bed. It's not too hard. It's not too soft. Those chairs were a nightmare, finding one that would be just right for my little butt. And then she falls asleep. Well, what happens? The bears come right back. And they walk in like, hey, someone's been in here. And Papa Bear looks at the dishes and he goes, hey, somebody's been eating my porridge. And Mama Bear looks and she goes, somebody's been eating my porridge. And Baby Bear goes, hey, somebody ate up all of my porridge. What gives? And they go into the bedrooms and Papa Bear goes, hey, somebody's been sleeping in my bed. Mama Bear goes, hey, somebody's been sleeping in my bed. And then the Baby Bear goes, hey, some chick's lying in my bed with golden locks. And she's still here. Well, just then, Goldilocks looks up and she sees 3 talking bears in a house that they built somehow. And so naturally she freaks out and she's like, what was I thinking? I gotta get out of here. And she ran away, ran for her life. Does this story go anywhere?
I'm trying to remember. Is that how the story ends?
I think so. This is a dumb story. And this is a story of, Goldilocks, Dush, Niswe Mukwag, Goldilocks, and the 3 bears.
Sweetie. That's a stupid story, but you tell it well.
Hey, thanks. Nellie. Remember her?
I know. She's such a brat.
Da 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 la 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 la. Okay, hey, what should we talk about now?
I don't know why you're singing the song from I Dream a Genie.
Because that tune never grows old. Da 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 da. I Dream a Genie. Let's see who's down here. ITHG. I thought I was Monday. It was Monday. Okay, grassroots. Might be time to set down the bottle. Grassroots thing has been drinking so hard. Grassroots still thinks it's Monday. It's Friday. We got one more day till the weekend. We got to get through today. Everybody's working for the weekend, sweetie.
Everybody's working for the weekend. Everybody needs a second chance.
You want a piece of my heart? No. All right. So, what have we learned today? White girls will break and enter and then just run away. I don't even think they filed a police report. I never heard of the three bears, getting justice. But also apparently in Germany or wherever that story's from. That's the problem with a lot of those kid stories. Like Grimm, Brothers Grimm or whatever.
Yeah.
They never end. They don't go anywhere. It's like the other day we told Three Little Pigs. Well, in the end, it's always in three. So this happened, then this happens, and so the story just kind of fizzles out. So I couldn't blow it down, and so he went away. What? Oh, this is Little Red Riding Hood. She, her mother was killed, murdered. Much like people who work with Alec Baldwin. Murderer. You got blood on your hands, Alec. Oof. But again, if she was forced to watch one of your movies, she's the lucky one.
No!
It's not funny. If you'd like to support the show on Patreon, PayPal, GoFundMe, and you can order Ojibwe language books at Amazon.com.
Hey, sweetie.
Yeah?
You got a phone call.
Oh, great. What line?
Line 2.
All right. Line 2. Oh, crap. Are you sure we got a call?
Yep, I think we have to now.
All right. Hello, caller. Welcome back to the show. Nanaboozhoo. Oh, hey, Johnny Depp. Oh, yeah. How come you're always making fun of me? What do you mean? I'm just trying to be an actor. I don't know. How come you have to poke fun at my movie? Well, for one thing, you kind of strain that fake res accent. What are you talking about? Me no fake. The res accent. I am part Cherokee. Yeah, I know. Johnny Depp, I wasn't expecting to have to talk to you today. We forgot to pull up other pictures, so this is why you're here. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, okay. So, but since you're here, Johnny Depp, let me ask you this. Is it true that Amber Heard pooped in your bed? Yeah, that's true. We were having a fight, and then she was drunk, and so she pooped in our bed. Oh, that's nasty. Yes, I know. All right, I'm gonna let you go because I have no idea. Okay, how do you say goodbye? We say Gigawabamin, Minawa. Oh, that's too hard for me. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna get rid of you. See you later, Johnny Depp. That was dumb.
Yeah.
Sunny day. When we come on late, you'd think we'd have something prepared.
Well, we did the story. We got the picture of Nellie.
Yeah. Wonder what she's doing now.
Well, she's probably a middle-aged, not even middle-aged. She's probably a lady in her 60s or something.
Yeah, I bet she's still in her 50s. I think we're about the same age as the, what was her name? Melissa Gilbert? Laura Ingalls. So Nellie was about that same age. So she's probably in her mid-50s.
Yeah, huh?
I wonder if she ever killed anybody on set, like Alec Baldwin.
I don't know.
What do you think, Michael? I don't know, man. Remember the guy who did Crow? He killed himself with a prop gun. Oh, yeah. Brandon Lee. Brandon Lee was the son of Bruce Lee, the magical karate man. And he was doing a movie. Actually, speaking of Tonto, Brandon Lee kind of looked like this. And he was in a movie and shot himself in the head goofing around with a gun. So he dies. And they released the movie anyway. They're like, we got enough. We'll just use body doubles or, shoot him from the neck down for the rest of the movie. And they released The Crow, which was, pretty much Edward Scissorhands meets Bruce Lee, meets Tonto, meets the insane clown posse. Oh, look at me. I'm quite a guy with a gun. They call me The Crow. So, I don't know. Dangerous place, Hollywood.
I'll say.
ZB Wagosh. Boozhoo, are you related to Papa Wagosh? ZB says, they were hitting good yesterday around your gym. It was the 70s. We got 3 good rainbows. Wow. ZB's fishing for rainbows.
I think that's rainbow trout.
Oh, we're talking fishing. Did you guys hear about the one-armed fisherman? He got a fish this big.
Nah!
Remember that? That's another one of my grandpa's jokes. The one-armed fisherman got a fish this big. That's such an old, dumb grandpa joke. But it's hilarious. It makes fun of the disabled.
Anytime you make fun of disabled people, it's kind of funny.
Yeah. Let's see. Do I know any good midget jokes? Nope, I don't. Anyone else play cowboys and Indians when they were kids? Yeah, stir it up. How dare you? It's cowboys and Native Americans. And yes, when I was a little boy, I would play cowboys and Native Americans, and I would just be the victim all the time. I would be sitting there, and my white neighborhood kids would come and say, hey, get off our land. And I'd say, no, this is my land. My family's lived here for generations. And I'll go, oh, really? Do you have a flag? And we'll go, well, no, we don't use flags. Well, we just put an American flag right here, so Majan. It's time to go. Beat it. And then we went to a reservation. And then I would just sit in this little roped in area where I could hunt and fish whenever I wanted, but they wouldn't let me leave. And that's how we played cowboys and Native Americans when I was a kid. My dad, back in the days of the grandfathers, like the kids in the 50s, I suppose, growing up in Bena, they didn't have movie theaters. But once in a while, like a traveling movie theater guy would come to the reservation, and they'd put up a big sheet and play, movies for the kids. It'd always be like cowboys and Indian movies. And all the little Indian kids wanted to be cowboys. They'd get their little toy guns and their 6-shooters and cowboy hats. They'd be playing cowboys and Indians, all these little Indian kids fighting who gets to be the cowboy. Like, no, man, I want to use the gun. You use the spear. This is just a stick. No, you're the Indian. Take off those shoes now. Got to run around bare feet. Because that's what Indians did. I'll be the cowboy. I'll wear the cowboy boots and this cool hat. Actually, can we have an adult conversation about cowboys? I don't know. It's another one of these subjects that are a protected class. The LGBTQ plus 2S MAP CBs. Are they part of that now? Oh, yeah. You see, a cowboy identifies as this weird... In one way, it's very masculine. They identify as being part cow and part boy. But the clothing they wear is sort of... It's like women's clothing they've butched up.
Really?
Yeah, think about it. First of all, let's just start with the feet. You got your cowboy boots. A real cowboy is going to have pointy toe and a heel.
That's true.
That's a woman's shoe. A pointy toe with a heel. Lots of times they'll put like little designs on it. You know, swirls and flowers or whatever. If they're going to be riding, sometimes they tuck their pants right in their boots. They're made to be seen, they go all the way up the calf. And when you walk in cowboy boots, you have to kind of walk like a woman walks who is wearing heels. Because you are wearing heels.
That's true. You ever watch John Wayne walk?
Oh, yeah. John Wayne was a total fruit. John Wayne, okay, so, you kind of walk and you got to kind of swish your arm back and forth if you're going to be in heels. Then the proper jeans, they're always wearing Levi's, right? But they're not just wearing men's trousers that are made out of denim. They're wearing skin tight. Men's trousers, skin tight. You can distinguish each individual butt cheek.
Yep.
They hike them way up high over the belly button like a woman wears. Women have to wear their pants high because they have hips. But cowboys wear their pants high. Oh, because I'm climbing on a horse, I guess. Yeah. You tell it yourself. And then what do they have? A big old, bejeweled belt buckle. Some big silver or gold thing right there at your belly button. Symbolizing the umbilical cord that a mother has with the baby. Or what a cow would have with their half human, half cow abomination offspring known as a cowboy. Then the cowboy puts on a colorful blouse. Cowboy shirts always have, special embroidery and designs. Flowered, whatever. Puffy sleeves that you gotta, snap. They'll have like multiple snaps at the cuffs, Then they might wear a vest. And then you get to that great big old bonnet. That's not a bonnet, but a big old sun hat. Cowboy hats are sun hats. It's like a sombrero that they, pushed up the sides so it looked more aesthetically pleasing. They get their big old sun hats, their blouses, skin-tight jeans, the high-heeled boots, and even like the old-time cowboys would wear a gun. They'd have that gun hanging way low on their hip. So it's kind of slide. I need to be able to grab it real quick. It's like, no, if you wanted to have an appropriate holster, you'd wear it like a cop in your armpit. No, I'll get away down. I want to draw attention down to that part of my body where I'm wearing my skin-tight jeans. So, yeah. The CBs, the cowboys, are now part of the LGBTQ plus 2S MAP and now CBs.
Do you want to talk about MAPs again?
Absolutely not. But I think people should know that's coming.
Tell them what MAP is.
I can't, sweetie. It's a children's show. Look it up for yourself. It's coming around the mountain, you guys. Just know we called it. La, la, la. Don't talk about Brokeback, man. Disgusting. How dare you, Zagame? That wasn't disgusting. That was beautiful. It was a beautiful display of love is love. And spit on your hand is spit on your hand. But let's get on my point with the old MAP thing. When you say love is love, hey, man, love knows no boundaries. Who are you to say who I can and can't love? If there is no God, then there is no right and wrong when it comes to who a person can fall in love with, who a person can be gay with. That's the spell, they put really pretty language on it. Oh, we're gay together. Sweetie, I'm gay for you.
I'm gay for you too.
That means I'm happy for her. You know, I'm happy with you. I'm gay. Now, sodomy is another thing. And so yeah, Brokeback Mountaineers. The logic is, and it's a nice idea. Love is love. But the minor attracted person, which is their new language, because you get censored if you say the P word. A minor attracted person just says, love is love. I'm not a monster. I'm just attracted to a person who works in the coal mines. Who are you to say it's wrong for me to love coal miners? Well, I think it's disgusting. I've been working in a coal mine, rolling downtown. Working in a coal mine. Whoop! I gotta slip down. Working, rolling.
I've been working in a coal mine, rolling downtown. Whatever happened to Devo?
Devo? That's right. Devo did that song too, didn't they?
Yep.
That's an old, Southern spiritual or something. I've been working in a coal mine. ZB Wagosh says, I got to meet 2 native bull riders at the PBR at the Pabst Blue Ribbon when they came here. Kenshaw Whitehorse and Ryan Dirty Eater. Dirty Eater? Yikes. What a name. Indian bull riders. Yeah, those guys are tough. Montana is full of Indian cowboys. I remember when I went out there on my admissions trips. It's a perfect blend of the cowboys and Indians. What finally happened in the Wild West is that those generations blended into, cut bank Indians, into the Blackfeet. Because you go out to Montana now, and there's a lot of those Indian reses where all the kids, and there's a lot of horse culture, a lot of cowboy stuff going on. Even with the Indians. Bina used to have horses and that.
Yeah, I know the loggers would use horses.
Yeah. So, Sagame says, don't say but when talking about that movie. Don't make fun of that movie. It's beautiful. I guess part of the reason why I find myself talking about the gay stuff so much these days.
Yeah.
Is that I was such an ally. I used to be so touchy about anybody dissing gay people. I owned Brokeback Mountain. And yeah, I had to kind of grimace and look away during that scene. And I was mad at myself. What are you, a homophobe? You don't like seeing Jake Gyllenhaal railing the Joker? And then I woke up from the spell and I went, ugh, what kind of movie is this? I don't need to see this. Yikes. What's the point of this movie? People are mean to the gays? So? What? People are mean to everybody. Everyone has a hard time. Quit your whining. Oh, leave us alone. We just want to live. Why can't you let us live? Live. All right. Sweetie, I'm going to get out of here before I talk up the whole hour. I'm going to let you get up here.
All right.
Here's a song for y'all before Natasha comes up. What is this, sweetie?
I think this is the intro and then actually the song Natasha.
Oh, really? Do you want me to give an intro about it?
You might want to tell people it's not about me.
It kind of ruins it.
Yeah, I know.
Michael, do you want to intro this song? Not really. Here's a song. Up next, the lovely and the talented Natasha. Miigwech Bizanda Wieg. Thank you for listening.
never meant one word. I 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 said, now you're my one. You're my only regret. I never meant one word. I never meant one word. I never meant one word. I said. I lost my job just the other day, and like everybody else, well, I've got a mountain of bills that need to be paid. Then I lost my way, now I don't know which way to go. But the wind may blow and the grass may grow, and for all we know, well, it just might snow. And what'll I do? What have we become when the day is over and the night's begun? What'll I do about me and you? I told you before, we are so through. But I never meant one word. I never meant one word. I never meant one word. I said, I never meant one word. I never meant one word. I never meant one word. I said, now you're my one. You're my only regret. I never meant one word. I never meant one word. I never meant one word. I said. I used to sit up at night just so I could watch ya. I wrote on my bedroom wall, Michael loves Natasha. I never meant one word. I never meant one word. I never meant one word. I said, I never meant one word. I never meant one word. I never meant one word. I said, now you're my one. You're my only regret. I never meant one word. I never meant one word. I never meant one word. I
song. I wish it was actually about me anyway. La, la, la. No, no, no. Nanaboozhoo so sad. Ladies and gentlemen, Nanaboozhoo. In a song written by Michael Lyons. Do, do, do. How you doing? Oh, I'm doing great. How are you? Oh, you know, I can't complain. Can't complain. Hey, everybody, what's going on? So good to be back. I'm back. Back in the New York groove. Wally Bear. Boozhoo, Wally Bear. This is your butt living in North Dakota. Oh, brother. It's all flat. This is your butt living on Brokeback Mountain. Oh, that's so gross. Come on. It's a kid show. What's wrong with you? Missy. Hey, Missy. Missy. Wally Bear, you are so creative. Don't egg him on. I think Zagamea is sick. Oh, you guys. Boozhoo Crew's in a rare mood, sweetie. Yeah. So, I never meant one word. You ever get in a fight with somebody and you just say stuff that you don't even mean, but you're just trying to hurt them? I never meant one word. Yeah, that's what it's like to fight in a relationship. Have we ever had a big fight? All the time. I don't think we have. Not yet. If we do the movie, we will. Yeah. I never meant one word. So what have we learned so far, kids? Today is Nano Keisha Good. It's the 5th day. You plead the 5th. Goldilocks. Dush. Dush means and. Niswe means 3. Mukwug. Mukwa is bear. Mukwug would be bears. Bear, Mukwa. And Abinujians. Abinujians is a little baby. You know. I wonder if Alec Baldwin ever paid for an abortion. Because then he'd have killed 2 people. Yeah, I'm sure he's paid for abortions. He's such a liberal. Yeah. Abinujians. Baby. Baby. I want macoons is bear cub. Bear cub. Macoons. Is that baby bear getting in trouble in any other stories? You mean like the big bad wolf shows up in stories? I feel like there's other baby bear stories. I can't think of any right now. You know what I've always loved? What's that? Winnie the Pooh. Yeah. I remember when we started this show, there was a movie came out where Ewan McGregor, who I kind of love as an actor anyway. I don't think Ewan McGregor's ever killed anybody. He was in, not Fight Club. What's that cool movie about heroin? Oh, yeah. Trainspotting. And he was Obi-Wan Kenobi in the prequel Star Wars. He's been in a bunch of stuff. But he came out in a movie about, it was called Christopher Robin. And Christopher Robin in this movie is all grown up. It's real people. And he's having trouble. And he's, he sits down in this park and he goes, what to do? And then just then he hears Winnie the Pooh from behind him go, what to do? And he turns around and he sees his teddy bear from when he was a little kid. Right there. And he goes, Pooh? And it was so, I don't know. I just was watching the scenes going, that's what this feels like. Doing this show kind of feels like playing with your stuffed animals when you're a little kid. I know I'm getting kind of meta commentary, but I loved that, the idea of that movie, because, what would it be like if, somehow You know, when you're little kids, everybody has stuffed animals or an action figure or something. You know, they used to talk about imaginary friends. Well, they're not really imaginary friends unless you're a schizophrenic. You know, you're just playing. You're pretending. But in your pretending, your stuffed animal will have a personality. There'll be some little part of you. And so this is the idea. I remember thinking, oh, it'd be so weird if little cutie just kind of came alive and then came back. Little Cutie, a book by Michael Lyons, the rock star cartoonist, is available on Amazon.com. And do we have a picture of Little Cutie, sweetie? You asking me? Or Michael? I don't think so. I think we have Dog and Ingen. Oh. Dog and my Ingen. This is a pretty good book, too. This is for, like, little Abenugians. This is how to count to 10 in Ojibwe. And some basic, you know, animal names. Dog, crow, raccoon. The cool thing about this book, we should have pulled up the video, is that it goes through all the seasons. And just as they're walking through the woods, counting out animals, it goes from winter to spring to summer back to fall. That was pretty creative, Michael. I gotta hand it to you. It's too expensive, though. Oh, come on. It's only like $8 or something. I know, but no. Abenugians, babe, I love you so. I want you to know that I'm gonna miss your love the minute you teleport me outdoor. Please don't go. But I gotta go put out some tobacco. I'm begging you to teleport me. Nah. You want to go outside? Yeah, would you mind? All right, hang on. I'm going to go outside for a minute. Am I, sweetie? Did we do that? La la la. No, we didn't. Doggone it. We're not prepared again. I could just increase the cartoon. I wonder, what if the trees started to grow really fast and down? Oh, look at the trees are really growing out there, moving around. Okay, how about that? All right, sweetie, I got your coordinates. Oh, goody! Will you teleport me outside? Sure, hang on. 1 to teleport. Energize. Pull the little thingy. Yeah, I'm wiggling the wire, pushing the button at the same time. You gotta kind of wiggle and push it in at the same time. Wow, that was weird. So, hi everybody. I'm out here, Aguaching, outside. And in our traditional Anishinaabe way, we like to put out tobacco, asema, when we pray. So I'm going to put this tobacco. You hold your tobacco in your left hand. Is this my left hand to you guys? No, it's not. Never mind that. But you hold it on your left side and near your heart. And you go, Gichimanadu, Great Spirit. Otapanan niwi asema. Accept my tobacco. Gichimanadu, Great Spirit. Taka. Great Spirit, please. We duka wishin menaway nungum. We duka wishin, help me. Menaway, to speak well. Nungum. Today. Gichimanadu. The Gawidukawishin Minaway Nungum. Help me to speak well today. Miigwech Gaiji Bamadaziyan. Thank you for my life. Miigwech for keeping Alec Baldwin away from me. Thank you for protecting me from Alec Baldwin and his murderous ways. Thank you for, la-di-da-di-da, la-di-da, la-di-da-di-dum. Thank you for Mozart. I think he wrote this little ditty that I'm singing. I don't know. Miigwech Bizendawieg. Thank you for listening. Well, me daughter, anytime you want to talk to me, I will listen to ye. Oh, hi, Gitchy Manadoo. Ladies and gentlemen, the Great Spirit. Hello, Boozhoo crew. How are ye? I think they're just great. So you're going to give me the tobacco? Should I just hand it to you, or? Nah, you can just spread it on the ground. Okay. And that's how you offer tobacco to the Great Spirit. So what's going on? Oh, I was just watching your show. You're doing a lovely job, my daughter. Well, thanks. You know, sometimes I have to pray, ask for help to speak well. You know. You always speak well, me daughter. Yeah. Sometimes I need help, like, being funny. Oh, you don't need to worry about that. Just speak from your heart. Yeah, I know. But still, would you help me be funny when I need to be? You got it. That's what people forget. If you're creative, you know, this is a little something. Excuse me, I'm going to talk to the kids. You go right ahead. Kids, if you're like into music or art, and you probably have heroes, you don't even know if you call them that, but people you sort of admire, go, oh, they're really creative. Look, it's Billie Eilish. You go, what? But a lot of creative people who have come from Hollywood, if you're going to see them, and they're like millionaires, they're inspired by Satan. And I know that sounds very church lady of me, but there's a lot of just dark satanic imagery. This, you know, it's the opposite of Gitchy Manadoo. But the funny thing is, if you're actually creative, if you do write a beautiful song, or you're not even creative, when you'd write beautiful songs, draw cool drawings, come up with funny jokes, that's creative too. Knowing the right thing to say at the right time, you know, that's called being inspired. You're inspired. Artists are always saying, oh, I give me inspiration. But what that really means, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's being in spirit. That means you're tuned in like a radio station to Gitchy Manadoo, to the Great Spirit. Because the greatest spiritual artist that's ever existed is Gitchy Manadoo himself. He is behind all artistic creation. He's behind all creation. But if you create, what that actually is Gitchy Manadoo working through you. And in a way, it sounds like, when people talk like that, they're like, oh, you know, even football players. Football players, you know, they'll make, it's like, oh, I give all thanks to God. What do you think of that when football players thank God? Well, it's because they're faithful and I do take sides in football. I don't know why everyone finds that so hard to believe. Yeah. But like when people do great things, and if they understand it, they actually thank the Creator. When you're a poser and you're not really that creative, like Marilyn Manson or Billie Eilish or Madonna or whoever, you can tell. It's terrible, and you'll see all kinds of satanic nonsense. So, yeah, I know the Boozhoo crew knows this, but for any little kids who stumble onto this, and they're like, oh, look, That's so creative. I can't believe it. She's standing outside in a cartoon world. How creative. That's 'cause I got tuned in to the Great Spirit. And so just like every football player, I give all credit to Gitche Manadu. No. All right. I feel like I should go back. Okay, my daughter. I will see you again. Giga wabba min, minawa. Yeah, giga wabba min, minawa, Gitche Manadu. All right, let's go back. Bloop. Okay, Boozhoo. Hi, sweetie, it's me, Natasha. Oh, hi, honey. You ready to come back? Yeah. Would you teleport me home? You got it. All right, let me scan for your coordinates. All right, I'm locking into your coordinates. Okay. 1 to teleport home. Energize! Okay, pull the little thingy, and then at the same time. There it goes. Hey! You know, this darn thing just doesn't want to work. I know. But I'm not going to buy a new teleporter as long as it works at all. Let's just run it into the ground, and then we'll shop around. We've been getting some, we got another GoFundMe donation the other day. Yeah, that was sweet. Did you want to thank them? Yes, except I don't remember their name right now. Thanks for the donation to GoFundMe. You know who you are. But when we raise enough money, we'll get a new teleporter. All right, everyone. Well, I think that's about all the time we have for today, unless you want to add anything. No, that's pretty good. Michael, do you want to add anything? No, just tell him I said thanks. Michael says, Miigwech. Miigwech Bisandawieg. Thank you for listening. And Miigwech Ganawabieg. Thank you for watching. Boozhoo Nanaboozhoo. The podcast about Ojibwe language and culture, huh, sweetie? Yep. I am Natasha. This is Nanaboozhoo. Okay, Miigwech. This is Michael Lyons. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. And I will see you again. Gigawabamin. Minawa. Oh. Sweetie. 1 to teleport. See you tomorrow. You gotta say the thing. Oh, right. Energize!
Don't let me hear you say life's taking you nowhere. Angel, come up the baby. Look at that sky, now life's begun. Nights are warm and the days are young. Come up the baby. Where's my baby? Lost that soul. Once I'm begging you, save her little self. Come up the baby. Run for the shadows. Run for the shadows. Run for the shadows in these golden years. Last night they loved you, opening doors and pulling some strings. Angel, come up the baby. In walked luck and you looked in time. Never looked back, walk tall, act fine. Come up the baby. Stick with your baby for 1,000 years. Nothing's gonna touch you in these golden years. Golden years. Go, wop, wop, wop. One day soon and it won't be long, gonna drive right down where you once belonged. In the back of a dream car 20 foot long. Don't cry my sweet, don't break my heart. Doing life you've gotta get smart. Wish upon day I believe, oh Lord, I believe all the way. Run for the shadows, run for the shadows.
Run for the shadows in these golden years. I'll stick with you, baby, for 1,000 years. Nothing's gonna touch you in these golden years. Gold, golden years. Gold, wop, wop, wop. Gold, golden years. Wop, wop, wop. Oh, wop, wop, wop. Gold, wop, wop, wop. Run for the shadows. Run for the shadows. Run for the shadows in these golden years. Oh, nah. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Lyons. And you have been watching Boozhoo Nanaboozhoo. I am Natasha, and this is the end of the show. Gigawabamin Minawa. Oh, that was awesome, dude. Hey, thanks.